Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Okay, give me 1 second, y'all. I have to write two things. Oh my goodness. I'm so thrilled, you guys. Tonight has been off the chain. I just finished watching episode 3 of Lost Resort. If all of y'all can hear me, everybody say, hi. Let's see. Okay, I got to type this in real quick and hashtag. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad you guys are all here to join me. I have two special guests that are coming on the show today. We have Pastor Becca from the hit TBS show Lost Resort, as well as the new healer who has just joined the circle, Miss Aqua. Now, Aqua is the sexual healer on the show, and her showing up was off the chain because you could tell that there was a little bit of tension developing with the other healers. So there's some hoocha going on. All right, let me make sure. Okay, did I write these two things in here correctly? And yes. Okay, and post. And I believe you pin it somehow. Oh my God. We'll figure it out in a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm so thrilled to welcome my very first guest. She is Becca from the show. And here we yay! And for all of y'all wondering what this show is about, honey, hello.
Hi, I love your microphone.
Thank you. Look, let me tell you, I have to have this. Everyone's like, girl, you look like the gayest DJ in the universe. But if I don't wear this, you'll hear dogs barking, fireworks cracking, cats meowing. It's the hood, honey.
Whatever
You
works.
It is such a great pleasure to meet you. I want to tell everybody really quickly that Lost Resort is basically a group of emotionally scarred individuals who are strangers that are in Costa Rica. You're participating in healing together, spiritual surgery, but it's basically a wellness retreat on steroids. And you're one of our lovely cast members. First of all, I just got to say, how has this been so far for you?
Yeah, it was definitely a life-changing experience. I wouldn't change it for the world. There were definitely some crazy moments, but you expect that when you do something that's different. But yeah, it was great.
I'd love to hear that. Now, one thing that is very interesting about you, Becca, is that you're actually a pastor.
I am, yes.
And so that you're a Christian pastor.
Yes.
See, and
Correct.
I love that. I remember when I watched episode 1, I said, oh my God, I need to reach out to her because me being on the circle, I let the world know that I'm a gay Christian. And I said, oh, Christians unite, honey. Yes. So tell me, you as a Christian, how did this, because on the show, you're telling everyone that at the moment you're having a faith crisis. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, so I would say it was more like a spiritual crisis where I wasn't able to hear God in the way I had before.
Ah, and in that moment of disconnection, did you say, "Well, let me try something different," and that's what led you down this road?
Yeah, so I actually love retreats. Like I've led retreats, I've been on retreats. I'm kind of a little bit of a retreat junkie. And so when I saw this possibility, I was like, sign me up. I don't care what kind of retreat it is. I need a retreat.
You're like, I need to get out of town, honey. I need to hear God again, baby.
Yeah, well, I think like anytime you go away from your normal everyday life to have a spiritual connection with God, like that happens because you're taking that time to do that. And so I really wanted to do that.
Oh, you make me want to go on one. I've never been on a retreat, so now it's definitely a plan. I got some questions I'd like to ask you, so we're going to tap into my inner Oprah tonight. While you were on your retreat, did you connect strongly with anyone out there?
Yeah, so obviously my roomie Miko, she's awesome. We got to hang out a lot. We had a lot of good conversations. Had a lot of good prayer, actually. We prayed a lot together.
You know,
Um,
I really am enjoying her. Some of the things she says on the show are so funny, like about her blessings downstairs working correctly on tonight's episode.
But that's how she is. She just like comes out with these one-liners and you're just dying. And she's like, what? What's wrong? And you're just laughing hysterically.
Yes. Oh my gosh, girl. I was tweeting about it a minute ago. Another thing I wanted to ask you was, so Aqua comes onto the show tonight. What was your first impression?
Yeah, so it's really funny because when I watched it back, I was remembering what was going on in my head, and honestly, what happened, like I didn't register that we had a new healer at first for some reason. Like I was like, who's this person? Why are they here? And then it was like, oh, there's a new healer. Oh, she's a sexual healer. Okay, what is that? What? There's so much going on in my head right now.
What was one of the thoughts going through your head?
It was like, wait, sacred orgasm, what? I,
Now,
I didn't know what that was.
now, as a Christian, were you instantly like, hold up, I don't know if this is gonna go south, or where are we going with this?
I mean, I'm not opposed to good sex. I love my husband, so that
Woo!
itself didn't bother me. It was more just like when they said we were going to do something as a group, I was like, hold up.
Oh, you're like, hold up, as a group, like how?
Yeah. Like, I was like, what is this going to be? And am I going to have parishioners calling me? Like, what is this going to look like?
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. Me as a Christian, if I would have been so excited for some sexual healing because between you and I feel like I'm sexually oppressed, suppressed. Honey, I need to address the stress. Oh my goodness. So let me ask you, you and Miko seem really close.
Mhm.
What did you think of Miko and Veron's relationship, and how did it change or shift once Aqua arrived in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, they were really tight. We didn't know what that meant. Like, we were like, okay, cool. They hang out a lot. That's awesome. And then, we have random conversations about how hot he is at night, which is fun. So we didn't really know what that was. And then when Aqua came in and it kind of changed, we were like, oh, this may be something we didn't know it was. I don't know. It's always that awkward moment when you don't know what a relationship is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I was really feeling so bad for Miko because the way it's being displayed, it's that of course she feels something for him, and when Aqua shows up, she's seeming like she's getting sad, like heartbroken in a way. That's what it looks like. I felt for her, and of course, for everybody who's tuning in to Lost Resort, you can tell that now she's, running into her inner self and wanting to get away from everything. Fight or flight is what they call it,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. So look, it doesn't seem like all the healers were on board to include Aqua. Did you ever see any of the healers get into it? Oh, that's a good one.
Honestly, no. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, we literally had no clue Aqua was coming. I mean, they kept this secret airtight. So, like, I had no clue that they had conversations about it, that they had, like, the healers had seen her before she came to us until I just watched it. Like, I
Oh,
had no
wow.
idea. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Now, let me ask you from a pastor's perspective, what were your thoughts on connecting with your ancestors, spirits, and other spiritual ceremonies?
Yeah, I kind of talked a little about that on Twitter. I ended up, I didn't do this a lot during this retreat, but on this particular ceremony, I ended up modifying it a bit. And I ended up praying and connecting to the Holy Spirit because one of the symbols for the Holy Spirit in Christianity is fire. And so that's how I modified that ceremony, was connecting to the Holy Spirit through it. And that worked for
Ah.
me. Because, I mean, I love different faith traditions. I love experiencing different faith traditions and noticing different things in their ceremonies and rituals. And so for me, it wasn't a big deal to just be like, okay, well, this whole ancestor thing may not necessarily be working for my Christian faith, my personally, so I'm going to modify it a bit. But that line is different for everyone.
Yeah, and I give you props on going through all of this so smoothly. I'm such a skeptic that I would always stop and think, now, where is the proof behind me screaming like this? Where is the proof that there is a spirit right here, right now? I need to see the proof. At any point, did those thoughts cross your mind like, girl, boo bye?
No, like honestly, most of the stuff we did, they explained really well why we were doing it. And that's my big thing. Like, if we're about to do something that seems weird to me, like, I need to know the theory behind it. And every time they explained it, I was like, Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah. Well, you definitely make me want to go on Lost Resort. You
Good.
really do. You do. Seeing you on there makes me want to, even though I have my reservations and stuff, a part of me is like, I want to go down to the jungle and see whatever I could tap in, whatever hoocha I'm carrying and all that. Do you have any extra hoocha these days, or do you feel like your hoocha has cleaned out?
That's funny. Well, I think everyone is hoocha around pandemicness, like we all got hoocha around that. But no, I think that, I actually dropped a whole lot of hoocha on that retreat, I'll tell you. So I'm carrying a lot less hoocha than I did before.
Oh, that's good. So it really worked for you.
Definitely.
Well, of course, I still want a lot of people to tune in because I've been telling everyone for weeks that this show is actually really good. It is so good, and it gets better every week. So I'm glad to know you're feeling good. But folks, please tune in so we can follow her journey as to how she got to this place. Now, really quickly, I want to ask you, are you hearing the Holy Spirit again? Are you feeling connected again with God?
Well, you'll just have to watch and see.
Ah, you better work, Miss Becca. I like that. Well, I'm very, you can always text me right after this and let me know. Yeah, because I would love to sit here another hour and discuss things with you because going through a faith disconnection or a faith crisis, it really sucks. For a lot of us, what we believe is the foundation of everything on how we act, how we think, how we react. And so when you have that crisis, the whole world crumbles around you.
Definitely. Yeah.
It
And it's,
sucks.
it's almost like how you saw everything is now gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, just a little hint. Did you go through it to that extreme?
No, it was more for me, like I kind of describe it as I wasn't angry at God, like I wasn't like God didn't exist. I knew God existed. It was like God lost my address. Like that's
Oh,
how it felt.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, there's a spiritual lady that I like to follow. Her name is Joyce Meyer.
Mm.
Good old Joyce Meyer. Have you heard of her?
Yes, I have.
Yes, she talks about that when we are first believers, you feel so connected. You feel like it's almost like you're on a high, on a Jesus high. And she goes, but as time goes on, that high seems to kind of go away and you start wondering, where's God? And she teaches that God is still there, that now he's stretching your faith. Do you feel like with all that you've been going through that your connection with God in the future or where you're at now or moving forward is bigger than what you thought it was before?
Yeah, and one of the things I talk about a lot as pastor is that like it's normal to have hills and valleys in your spiritual life, right? Like we're never always going to be on that mountaintop where
Mm,
that high you talked about, right? Like we're
right.
going to be in the valleys sometimes too, and that was my valley. It was a very long valley. It was many
Oh,
years, but yeah, and St. John of the Cross calls it a dark night of the soul. Um,
oh, nice.
so it's like
That,
totally a normal thing to have happen during your spiritual thing. It just, I didn't think it would, last 5 years.
oh my God. You know how weird.
Mhm.
So I'm going to disclose this. Nobody knows this, but everyone who's watched or tuned in tonight, I have been on a spiritual dip a little bit in the last 5 years as well.
Oh,
How weird. So don't feel alone, honey. But I have hope that what I've gone through is going to make me stronger. And I hold on to God more than ever right now in my life. And, a lot of people watch The Circle and they write me asking for spiritual advice. And I give them the best that I can for what I know. But just like you, and I think that's what drew me to you so much, I know what it feels like to go through a spiritual kind of like what's going on here deal. But, honey, between you and I love that God says he will never leave us,
mhm,
never forsake us,
mhm.
and he's still there even when we can't feel it because we're supposed to live above and beyond our own feelings, right? We just
Yep,
know he's there because our own worries and thoughts can't change his mind.
yep. We
So,
walk by faith and not by sight, right?
amen to that. And God have mercy. What's the Bible verse? God have mercy on the doubt that may cross our minds at times, right? So,
Yep. But doubt is
uh,
healthy, remember?
it is healthy. I'm learning to grab onto that grace.
Mhm.
we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace, right? And I think sometimes we try so hard. But
Mm-hmm.
Becca, let me tell you, you are a bright light. I'm glad to know that you are feeling better. I can't wait to tune in to see more of your journey as to how you get to where you're going, honey. And just keep on preaching that good word. I'm so blessed to have met you tonight. I'm so thrilled. And hopefully soon we can catch up and chat a little bit more.
Yeah, I would love that. Let's make it a date.
Let's definitely do it. I hope to meet you after all this pandemic's over. We can just talk about God, honey, and maybe write a book.
I would love that. That would be
Okay. Becca and Chris teach Christianity.
fantastic.
Oh my God. Well, God bless you, hon. And everybody tune in to Lost Resort so you can follow Becca's journey and feel free to follow her. I'm sure after this video, honey, I'll have all the tags and everything correctly going on here.
Sounds good.
Have a great night, Becca, and thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Yay. That's so awesome. All right, everybody. Well, that was Becca from Lost Resort, and I'm so happy to have had that opportunity to chat with her. Girls, y'all know me, girl. I could talk about Jesus all night long, girl. And like I disclosed to her, like she's having or is experiencing on the show, as a believer, sometimes we go through the ups and downs. And for the last 5 years, I have been going through maybe a little bit of a dip. But that doesn't mean I don't believe in God. God is my everything, honey. You know, all that Godfidence, that's for real. And you got to stick closer to God when you're going through those dips, honey, and He'll never leave us. Now, look, I got another guest from tonight's show. Her name is Aqua. She is the sexual healer on the show who has just turned the party, honey. Everybody is up in here wondering about, hold up. Oh, and before we proceed, the word of the night is hoocha. So I guess in spiritual healing, uh, hoocha is a word they use that means, let me see, I wrote it down here. It means heavy energy. See, I grew up in the hood, so I'm used to hearing the word hoochie. So, but you know, if you think about it, a hoochie has some hoocha. Because if she didn't have hoocha, she wouldn't be a fucking hoochie, right? Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Let's see if we have Aqua ready to come up in here, honey. Like the wrecking ball, the disco ball. Let's see. Here we go. Bear with me, folks. This is live telly. Live telly. You are tuning in to live telly. Here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, let's all get ready for Aqua. This is gonna be good. Hola!
Hi.
Hi, Aqua. Look at you, girl. Okay, so look, for weeks and weeks and weeks, I was so thrilled. I was like, hold up, baby, hold up. We got a sexual healer. I want to know where she coming with all this. First and foremost, honey, where are you from?
Um, First of all, thank you for so much for having us on the show. It's so
Oh,
amazing
of
to meet you in
course.
person. It's amazing to be here. I'm glad everyone's loving Lost Resort. And coming back to your question, where I'm from, I think it's like Venus or Mars or Sirius out there. But if we like have to talk human terms and matrix terms, I was born in England, Manchester, but my mom's Spanish, Persian, and my dad's Indian.
Oh my God, we are the world. Yes. That is amazing. You know, I was just in Manchester, honey. The people from there are very sweet. Yes, they have a beautiful heart, and I think a big piece of my heart stayed over there. But look, let's
Aw.
talk about you, honey, because you came on this show like a disco ball, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, we didn't know we was gonna have another healer." I want to ask you first, how did you get picked for this show?
Um, well, everything in life you attract. You create it, you attract it, and you create your dream life. That's the reality of spirituality, right? So in those terms, I've been putting in the work to, step into my higher self, into my powerful self to do the work that I came here to do. So I could say that, but at the same time, there's a beautiful woman who's one of the producers on the show who's been following me for quite a while, and she was like, "You got to have Aqua on the show. You got to have Aqua on the show." So they casted me, and I'm here. I am.
Girl, God works in mysterious ways. That's exactly what you just said.
They were
You
supposed to have
know, and
someone else. They were supposed to have someone else, and they called me last minute. Like, no, it's you. Like you. Like no. Like they first were like, no, you're not coming on. Sorry. After all the auditions, I was like, oh wow. And then it was like, no, call me back, and it's you.
Girl, it was destiny. You have something to teach the world.
I hope so. I hope the message gets across the world. It's really important right now, you know. Sexual healing on the planet. I mean, look around us. Look around us.
I agree. And I love how tonight they introduce you on tonight's episode, but it's kind of like a cliffhanger so that we tune in next week to see how you really get down on your work. And you're so right about the world needing it, because a lot of us spiritually have always been told, don't have sex. Don't do this. So we carry this subconscious guilt if we just kiss somebody, or if we got drunk one night and accidentally, did the do.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
Oh my.
That's what we're doing. We're walking around carrying all this shame, all this guilt, all this trauma. Like religion told you sex is a sin, your body is a sin, you are a sin. You're just a walking sin, basically, right? So obviously when you're told not to do something, what do you go do? Right? You go tell a kid, don't eat that chocolate bar. What's the kid gonna do?
I totally agree with that, Miss Aqua. It's almost like when they teach people how to get rid of anxiety, they're like, the more you try to push anxiety away, the bigger it gets and gets. And next thing you know, you're having a panic attack. So you're supposed to just flow with it. So instead of teaching us that sex is horrible and you're all going to hell, we should
Absolutely.
probably be like, yeah, be healthy about it.
Absolutely. I mean, look, we're all born through sex. We're all sexual beings. Your life force energy, like that energy that keeps you going every day, that keeps you creating, living your life, it's sexual energy. Like when we see like in nature, like nature mating or animals mating, it's just procreation. But we as humans have this incredible power, which is your sexuality and your sexual energy. And right now people are just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have sex here and there. They don't even realize what this powerful energy is. And like, actually this energy was here to help you create your dream life, to live heaven on earth, and you're just wasting it and you don't even know about it, right? It's nobody's fault.
Oh, I love how you said that. Live heaven on earth. Yes, ma'am. I agree. And speaking of heaven on earth, what exactly is orgasmic dance? Because I'm sure that's heavenly for some children out here. And by
Yeah.
children, I mean us adults.
I know people always, when I say like what do you do? I'm like sacred orgasmic dance. I always get like orgasmic or oh orgasmic, right? Like it's all these different reactions to the word orgasmic, which is why I use that word orgasmic, because it triggers the hell out of everybody, right? It's like because we all want to feel that orgasmic pleasure. Everyone's dying for it because that's what it is essentially. Like sacred orgasmic dance is a mixture for me of like shamanic sexual healing, tantric arts, voice activation. We do chakra healing. It's a mixture of like basically what I have learned my whole life, traveling all over the world, working with masters, tantric masters, different healing modalities, and I put it all together. And it's really important to use the word sacred before the orgasmic, because I'm not talking here about ejaculation as orgasm, right? We're talking about orgasm in a very different way. Let's come back to what I just said. We are an orgasm. You were born through an orgasm. Pleasure
Ooh.
is our birthright. Like everybody is wired naturally to pleasure.
Oh, girl, you make me want to call somebody tonight and just get all the pleasure.
Ooh, well, you just no, hang on. You have to call yourself. That's what this is about. This is what sacred orgasmic dance is teaching everyone. It's like you are the magic. You are that pleasure you seek. It's all inside of you. But we're in a world and a society where we're so taught to like seek pleasure outside, right? Codependency. Like, oh, if you don't show up tonight and have sex with me, then I feel rejected and I'm not beautiful and oh my God, I'm not sexually like, it's all of that stuff that's playing the toxic energy that's going on around sex. Like I'm here to promote that you are a sexual being. Make love to yourself first. Tune in with your own sexuality, right?
Ooh,
Right? And I'm not talking about
girl.
masturbation. We're not talking about masturbation like, oh, I'm talking like, when was the last time you got in a shower or a bath and you just felt yourself? Like you felt yourself. You're like, oh my, like because when you make love to someone, guess who you feel? You feel yourself.
Girl, I am living for all of this that you're telling me. You're going to make me want to take a shower and feel myself in a different way.
Please
Normally, I get in the
do.
shower and I try to
Please
wash off all this
do.
hairspray. Girl, if you saw me in the shower, you'd be like, I don't know about you in the shower, honey. All this mascara starts dripping. I look like what they call in Spanish, La Llorona. All this.
La Llorona.
You know about it, yes. Oh my goodness. So here's a fun question. Does this mean in all of this that we're learning that you have no past lovers who you would say were bad in bed? That is a great question.
I've had a lot of lovers that I don't want to use the word bad, that just weren't experienced or connected to themselves. For it, like that's what kind of makes you bad, right? It's like you're not connected to yourself, you don't really understand your own sexuality, and you're basically using the other person just to get off. So that would, from to me, that's what a bad lover is. It's not someone who cares about my needs or is connecting to me in all the senses. I'm just like this hot objective object, right? Like that can get them to like an ejaculative stage. A good lover, the opposite of that would be someone who's like very present, and who's very slow with you and takes the time to ravish you and devour you and
Whew,
take you to
whew.
God, right? Like that's what it's about. Like sacred sexuality is about healing. Like we can literally illuminate ourselves, become very evolved, conscious beings through practicing sacred sexuality. And that is my message through the show and through everything I do.
Do you have a gay brother or homie that does what you do and can make me feel what you make others feel?
I'm gonna make you feel it, baby. I'm gonna make you feel it too.
Ooh, oh
Once
my
you
God,
feel
Miss
it,
Aqua.
once you feel it, that's what happens. Everything's energy. So imagine once you're tuned in, tapped into yourself, your power. I was celibate for 3 years, and why I did that, and that was recently. And the reason I did that was because sexuality was like such a manipulative game for me for a long time, and I started to realize just how important like preserving this energy for myself was, and like using this to like expand my own life. And what happened was the minute I started working on myself and healing my own sexuality, then the men started to show up, or the women, I'm kind of bisexual, like started to show up and like match me. Why? Because I was putting out the vibration of I'm whole, I'm tapped into my multi-orgasmic sensory experience within my body. And so that's it. That energy is going to go, okay, well, let's match that up for you.
Girl, oh my God. I'm so glad I met you tonight. Let me tell you, between you and I, Aqua, I have been single since I was 15 years old. I tell everybody that my coochie's full of cobwebs and I got more spiders than the damn zoo. And
Oh,
I've been told from my cousin who was going to school to be a psychologist. She goes, you know what your problem is, Chris? The moment somebody's showing you energy, dude, or like that they're attracted to you, you friend zone them instantly. It's like you have this wall and you're pushing everybody away. And I love what you just said about once you got your energy right, they started matching your energy. And girl, I'm gonna give you my phone number after this because I need the tips and the tricks and all that because I'm tired of being single. The other day I was praying. I said, Lord, love is the highest expression of a human being's experience. And I would hate to be that gay old dude who's like 80 years old
mm.
sitting on a rocking chair with a cat with a big dildo in the background. Like that's not going to be cool. That's going to suck. Girl, I'm going to give you my number. Miss Aqua, I have to ask you, what was your first impression of Veron?
Um, when I meet people, I don't look at the physical anymore. I used to be that woman. I used to be that girl. I people look at me today and think, "Oh my God, how is she the way she is?" Like I went through a lot of healing. Like I've been through the worst of the pain and trauma that you can imagine, especially around like why am I doing sexual healing? Because I healed myself.
Oh,
I had that sexual trauma, like a lot of it, right? And it's only because I was able to heal myself and embody a higher vibrancy of self-love that now I can do this work. And so when I first met Varun, everyone obviously is a very attractive man. He's a beautiful guy, and that's what I sensed from him, that he was beautiful. He was a really like a nice guy, closed, right? Closed. Like his reaction to me was, I didn't know how he felt towards me or what was going on. I walked in on the show and I just obviously watched the episode and I was like, was that all going on behind me entering in? I like had no idea of what the hell was going on, right? I mean, I'm like, really? Like, okay. And like, I was hearing snippets like the next few days of like Mika's really upset because of this. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I mean, for me, you know, especially when I go on a retreat, like we're doing a retreat, like it doesn't matter who's turning up. I'm there holding space. I'm not there for my personal agenda, right? So even if
Right.
I were to find, say, Varun attractive because my body would tell me that, or my energy, I still wouldn't act upon that because that's not what we don't do. That's not what we do, right?
Right.
As healers, it's
Right.
we're here to help people heal.
Oh my God, I adore you. So, I mean, that answers my next question. So, you never really sense any like tension with Miko or anything like that then, because you didn't even know. Wow, that's amazing. Well, look, Miss Aqua, I look so forward to seeing what you are going to bring, honey. And trust, I got a big ass notebook back here. I'm going to be taking notes and I'm sending
Oh,
you my phone number, honey, because
yes,
I need
please.
I need Aqua to make me wet.
Oh, baby, I'll make you wet and juicy, don't you worry. And look at all
Ah!
the love around you. Look at all the love around you, baby. Like, you know, like you've been putting that love that you would have given outside of yourself to like just to feel whole, right? You've been okay, you may have been single, maybe you weren't with people, but you've at least been putting all that love and energy into your career, into you, and like it shows, right? Like you're now, you know, people come to you, people watch you, people are interested in what you do, and you're the living proof of what I'm teaching and what I'm doing. And it's like, you know, I feel like we all have come to learn to be sovereign beings. We're not here to own anyone, possess anyone. No one should fill our cup. No one should be there to like, you know, to be our prince or our king or our queen. Like you can love someone deeply, but without attachment. Like let everyone be free and then you be free. And that's where you can really have long lasting, happy, fun relationships. You know, and I really, that's the future. That's the future for those that want to awaken to true love and those that want to truly embody sexuality and love. You know, that's, yeah.
Amen, honey. And so that basically tells everybody hookup culture has a lot of hoocha.
Porn, hookup culture, porn, our whole society is based on porn. You know, the saddest thing is like little children, like little kids, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, they're learning sexuality through porn. And even like, you know, our world is designed to use sexuality in an objective way. Like, you know, women are objectified, and that's why we've got all these problems around surgery and all these things. It's just, yeah, the world's upside down because we are sexually basically all sort of, you know, traumatized, and we never had good role models. We didn't have, no one's taught us about sex. The people who taught about sex were the religions who told us it's bad.
That's very true. No one really did teach us about sex, not even so much in high school. I mean, we had sex ed, but it was very like boom shaka, a condom on a banana. And it's like there's so much more to sex than just what we're told. It's like everybody's scared of sex. Yeah, everyone's having it behind closed doors, except me, of course.
It's exercise. It's called sexercise. It's like how fast can I get to ejaculation, right? That's what I see in the world. It's exercise, and I just love to bring people back to making love and transcending with their sexuality into higher dimensions. Like you can literally become the happiest, most successful, joyful, self-satisfied person if you know how to really become powerful with yourself, respect your body, respect your sexuality, and not just share it so freely as if it's, you know, like free candy for everyone. Because in the end, you're just robbing yourself of your own joy.
What you say is very parallel to what Christianity teaches in the sense that the body is a holy temple and that we should not just give this temple away to just anybody because you're taking the holiness away from that temple. So girl, you're a walking temple, right, Miss Aqua? Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for stopping by and teaching us
Thank
and
you.
sharing your beautiful energy with all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have to follow Aqua. Aqua, you are the bomb, okay?
I
God
love you.
bless
Thank
you.
you. You're the bomb. Just a
Thank you,
reflection, my
darling.
brother. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless you, and thank you for coming. We'll chat soon, honey.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
night.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, you guys. That's what's incredible. For a moment there, I was like, baby, where is my fan, my tower fan? Because it is getting hot up in here. That's what happens when you've been single since you're 15, honey. And the only thing that touches you is a mosquito when it bites your leg. Ladies and gentlemen, Lost Resort, Thursday nights at 10, 9 Central on TBS. That was Aqua, the new sexual healer on the show. You guys have to tune in. This show is absolutely incredible. Y'all know me, same OG. I love spirituality. I'm all about healing. I've been on a healing path for the last 5 years, but I have been believing in God since I was a child, but more so when I found God or God came to me at 14. So you know I was going to tune into this show and try to figure out what's going on here. So what we've learned tonight is to take care of your temple, all right? Don't just give it away, honey, because energy is everything. What we've also learned tonight is that faith is like a roller coaster. It has its valleys, you know, it goes up and then it goes down. But God is always with us, right? I want to say thank you so much to all of y'all for tuning in to tonight's little after party kiki of Lost Resort. Remember, 10, 9 Central, TBS Thursdays. You'll love it. It's so good. Let me say, I want to give a shout out to Sheila Loves to Shop. The name is Gabby. Javi03. Hi, Veron. Veron, honey, that body, Veron. Veron, tonight I ate a few plates of beans and rice. And when I tuned in and saw the episode and I saw your body, I said, damn, Gina, maybe I shouldn't have eaten so much beans and rice. Thank y'all so much for stopping by.